PGF, or Public Goods Funding, is a noble way to fund resources that includes everyone's benefits. Such PGF projects includes roads, clean air, and open knowledge. But it's also something only a few would want to put money into, mainly because while its ROI is low on profit, it's pretty high on social ROI. And with every protocol and institution now rushing out to build their digital asset treasuries that only really benefit themselves, Octant is out there creating vaults that benefit the public goods movement. Learn more about Octant Vaults in this episode of Whitepaper by AthenaX, where we're strictly entertainment and not financial advice. Today, we're going to learn about three things. What is Octant Vaults and how is it different from a regular vault? Why impact investing in crypto is worth it? And what would happen if crypto public funding became more accessible? So public good funding, or PGF, pays for things that everyone builds on, but no one wants to pay for directly. Such examples would be open source libraries, the Ethereum Foundation, and developer tooling like GitHub or Gitcoin. Without these, building open source is going to be pretty difficult. Imagine trying to build on crypto without on-chain data like DeFi Llama or L2B. So Octant is a company that's completely aligned with PGF, and essentially they build vaults on Ethereum. Their vaults are a fork of Yearn v3 that essentially preserves treasury principles while also generating yield through its integrated strategies and automatically routing that yield to fund public goods or ecosystem recipients through a bunch of configurable donation mechanisms. In essence, they automatically route treasury yields with the hope of making your yields more productive through social impact. Now, Octant has been a project built by the Golem Foundation, which ranks number 8 on the ETH reserves. And they have sort of evolved the meta for sustainable Web3 funding that emphasizes DeFi yields for donations. To date, the Ethereum community has only given positive reviews to Octant's V2 vaults, with reviews calling it a self-sustaining global PGF ecosystem that balances both the common good with individual rewards. So let's take a look at how this works, as it's pretty straightforward. To paint a picture for you, we've got the Golem Foundation and we've got Octant Vaults, which is their vault product. To date, Octant has distributed over 2,500 ETH in matching funds across epochs, and they're staking about 100k ETH in TVL based on the reported stakes. The current rewards for them are around 3.8% to 4% for Golem or GLM locked positions with very minimal locks. Octant Vaults are straightforward in design, with an added benefit for being a part of the Golem Foundation. The yields that are harvested are split into 3 key pools through their payment splitter mechanism. The first, they've got the Dragon Vaults, which allocates yields across the Dragon pools, which are community voted rewards. They also allocate yields into the sustainability pools, which funds public goods, and the Regen Vaults, which essentially equals to user rewards. Additionally, the Golem Foundation also matches the rewards in the sustainability pool through time-weighted ETH rewards, which is a big statement from the Golem Foundation that they're aligning themselves with Ethereum's public good ethos, and they intend to collaborate with other entities that want to do the same. From a user journey standpoint, you deposit assets into a vault that's preloaded with a yield strategy, which only the accrued yields are split across the 3 benefactory pools. If you're your own business or a layer 1 that wants to set up your own vaults, you could do the same, except that you could expect a minimum commitment of staking Ethereum, and you'll be able to set up the split for your own public good pools. On the security and tech side of things, Octant Vaults are basically Yearn v3 forks that are ERC 4626 compliant, which is a fancy way to say that the vault handles the business logic of accounting and access controls in a standard code format. This also makes them compatible with Morpho, Aave, Lido, among the other big staking names, which essentially makes them accessible to plug and play with vault strategies on the market. Since June 2023, with the support of the Golem Foundation, Octant has supported over 100 plus Ethereum aligned public goods project with its 90-day epochs. And part of the reason why they do this is the strategic importance of coordinating resources. PGF essentially becomes the coordination layer on Web3, or in this case, a metaphor would be a guiding invisible hand for capital allocation and scaling Ethereum tools for the Web3 community. Additionally, with complex systems like AI, crypto, and infra existing in the market, they would need some sort of shared foundation for composability and coordination to function as a holistic ecosystem. In its most recent epoch, which is Epoch 9, 175 ETH in grants were distributed to over 30 projects from 450 applications. Before each epoch funding, a theme is applied to indicate the type of projects that would qualify for funding and also the total amount of rewards as well. Past recipients of these grants include notable projects like L2B, Protocol Guild, Web3J, Open Source Observer, which are known public good projects in the market. With risk, like most grant and funds, there are several risks here, such as misallocation, governance capture, grant farming, and all that. In general, PGF tends to work best when it rewards impact after the fact and not with open-ended promises from founders. So naturally, for further mitigation, Octant could structure these grants through perhaps different milestones, such as an expense-based PGF, foundation grants, retroactive PGF, or even a token-based PGF. So for some closing thoughts, I think public goods funding is an inevitable meta that will arrive with the incoming hype of so many institutional DATs on the market. We're already seeing crypto DATs being used as a tool for TradFi, such as the case of World Liberty Finance, and I expect PGF to also be a part of the toolbox, mainly as some sophisticated version of a corporate tax break strategy. However, because tech strategies are not as mainstream as growth strategies, it's likely that PGF will remain a small but growing niche within crypto. Now that's all for this episode of Whitepaper by AthenaX, and I'll see you at the next reading. Bye-bye.